All right, let's go now to Michigan and then Virginia. We'll go to Michigan first. Hey, Michelle, what do you got for us?
Hi. Um, I am calling a couple things. One, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the different ways that you have helped me become aware of other people. So, for example, John Lynch, I've so appreciated his humor and his story and everything like that.
Yeah.
And also, along those lines, the True Face community has been such a blessing to me. Hearing who you were talking to in the last couple conversations and
Yeah.
being a person that lives in an area that I have not found a grace community, but attend a church, and it's hard to kind of put yourself out there, like you were just saying, as far
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
being a leader or having those conversations. But that was an encouragement to me, and I will definitely ponder that and consider that. But specifically, I was reading one of True Face's from their book, Trust for Today, 365 Days of Encouragement. And in the month of May, there's a reading titled Heartfelt Obedience and Its Counterfeit. And so there's just two sentences that I kind of wanted to get your take on. It says, Jesus is looking for the heartfelt response of men and women and girls and boys who enjoy letting his power play out through them. Romans calls it, quote, obeying from the heart. And so my thoughts or wonderings on that is specifically for children. I'm a mom of 5 kids. One just graduated and have all the way down to 9 years old. And as far as them being at a church where they might learn about Jonah and Joseph and all the characters and all of that comes with that,
Yeah.
being able to have conversations with our children in a very organic and authentic way. Just wondering if you might have any encouragement in that direction.
Sure.
or thoughts on
Yeah.
how that could look.
Yeah. All right. Well. First, thanks for calling in. Love your question. You quoted the book and very short quote. I guess what I would say in reacting to that is I love that us being obedient from the heart is being emphasized. Now, in the quote it says Jesus is looking for. And what I would say is actually Romans is saying Jesus has created. He's created people who are obedient from the heart. That's what a new creature is. So he is not looking for, oh my gosh, where can I find people? No, actually, that's the definition of a Christian. So the definition of a Christian is that we were sinners, and now we became obedient from the heart. And that's past tense. We became obedient from the heart. So what I would tell my child in the beauty of this past tense statement in Romans is that now I can turn to my child and I can say, you bet. I don't have to say you ought to be or you better be or you should be. I can say you are. If you're God's child, if you have Jesus living in you, you are obedient from the heart. So that's an affirmation. Do you hear that? It's not, hey, son or daughter, I'm looking for you to be obedient from the heart. No, no. It's not a woulda, shoulda, or coulda. It's not an ought. It is a fact that salvation is God took out your disobedient heart and he gave you an obedient heart. We were slaves of sin. Now we're slaves of righteousness. That's an identity. Paul's not saying you should be slaves of righteousness. He's not saying you ought to be. He's not saying you should talk yourself into being. He's saying you are. You have become obedient from the heart. So I would just encourage you, there's 10 ways to do it, but affirm your child. Affirm your child. Remind them of the gospel. If they believe that Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead, if they've ever said, I want Jesus in my life, affirm their identity. And don't make it into something they ought to be, no pressure, but affirm that it's who they are. And there's a huge difference between those two approaches. So recognize that. And then, a little thing my mom taught me that has helped me over the years. And I noticed later in retrospect, I realized she was doing it after she told me about it. But it helped me in my parenting over the years as well. Even when you have an ounce of instruction for your child, even a correction or anything that you want to say, put a little tag on there. This is your opportunity at the end of the sentence. Whether it's, bud or pal or buddy or whatever it is, hun or honey or whatever's comfortable for you and your kid. But when you're giving them a thought or sharing with them or correcting them or saying anything, whether it's once a day or twice a week or whatever, by tagging a little bit on the end, it connects them to you. And it also kind of affirms your love for them. And it softens, that's the word, it softens a whole lot that you might say to them. It contextualizes what you might say. Oh, mom is correcting me, but at the same time, she's calling me bud. Oh, mom is telling me to do something, but at the same time, she's calling me pal or buddy or whatever. Not using their name in any sort of negative way as a calling them to the carpet, but instead some sort of affectionate tag. Now, what are you doing there? Well, you're affirming their identity as your child. You're affirming your love for them. You're affirming the connection and the affection that you have for them. So that's just a little trick of the trade, you might say, straight from the heart of my mother, who's visiting right now, and she's taught me a whole lot. So affirm your kid, teach them their identity in Christ, teach them the past tense nature of it, that God has done that at salvation. God has made them a new person, obedient from the heart. And then go ahead and play with that fun little trick of tagging on some sort of affection to the end of your statements, and it'll do more than you imagine. Well, thanks for your call, and reach out to us again anytime.